What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Talkin Sports with Jake. Hope you're all doing well. So, obviously, a lot to talk about, but let's do our random sports stuff first. Will Venable has been hired to be the next manager of the Chicago White Sox. The White Sox are about as hopeless as it gets, but I do think this is a good hire for them. Venable he was a good player, he was a solid outfielder for a while, bounced around the league. He's been a coach, an assistant coach for a few years. He started with the Chicago Cubs. That's where he started his coaching career. He was the first base coach in 2018 and 2019. By the way, RedBox is going to come on and join us. And then in 2020, he was the third base coach for the Chicago Cubs. RedBox, how are ya?
It is going well. I might have to jump out for a phone call. I'm expecting a phone call that I have to take. But
That's good.
I gotta get a law school reference pinned down.
Oh, good for you. Okay, good for you.
Hard to track down, but I called him this morning and interrupted him in a meeting, so he's gonna call me back when he's done.
Sounds good. Congratulations on that law school. That's exciting.
I gotta do a bunch of stuff for that today, but I figured I'd come on and give my thoughts on what looks like it's going to be yet another overall lackluster game week in the NFL.
Yeah, I'm gonna get to that shortly, but yeah, there's been a lot of rough games. There's a lot of bad quarterback plays, a lot of bad coaching in the NFL right now, so that creates
I imagine
a lot of that.
Talk about the World Series too.
Yes, we will definitely talk about that. Absolutely. But first, I was just doing some random stuff. Will Venable got the White Sox manager job. Obviously, that's a dumpster fire organization, but look, I think it's a solid hire. Will it help? I mean, maybe they'll possibly lose 110 games, is about 130, whatever it was. But I do like him. I mentioned he was the first base coach for the Cubs in 18 and 19, was their third base coach in 2020. In 2021, he became the bench coach for the Boston Red Sox. And few games in 21 and in 22, he actually managed because I think Alex Cora got COVID or might have been thrown out of the game, so he was promoted to manager briefly. And in the last 2 years, he was the assistant manager in Texas under Bruce Bochy. So he's worked under a lot of good managers. He's worked under a couple of good managers. He's been a guy.
I don't know if he worked under a good manager in Boston.
Depending on who you ask. He worked under a Hall of Fame manager, Bruce Bochy, in Texas the last 2 years.
Yes. Good. I think Cora is highly subjective.
Right.
But I am not one of his fans, if you couldn't tell.
Yeah, I did. I picked that up. Yeah, but he's gonna be the next.
We discussed that before, though. Yeah, that's interesting hire.
The White Sox.
We'll see what they can do to turn the organization
I know
around.
they're in a obviously they're a complete mess. You got fans screaming for Joey Ryan to sell that team, and I don't blame them. He has not done a good job with the White Sox. Hell, the Chicago Bulls haven't had any success since Michael Jordan retired in 1999. And that was 25 years ago, so he's not a great owner by any means. The kind of was on display in the Last Dance documentary a couple of years ago. But Venable's been a guy that a lot of guys have said for a while would make a good manager, and now he gets his shot. There's better situations out there for sure in the White Sox, but I know he was a finalist for the Marlins job. That's a slightly better situation, I guess, but he took the job with the Chicago White Sox. Okay, moving on. The Ravens made a trade for Deontay Johnson. They get him in a 6th-round pick for a 5th-rounder. I think this is a good move for the Ravens. He's a solid receiver. He's got 30 catches, 357 yards, and 3 touchdowns this year for the Carolina Panthers. Played every game. But the last game, because they're probably holding him out because they knew they were going to trade him. The week before, he said, I can't play every position on the field. Clearly, he was unhappy there. I probably will be too if I play for the Panthers. But he's a little bit of a solid receiver. He had a career in 2021. Spent his entire career besides this year with the Pittsburgh Steelers. 107 catches, over 1,100 yards, and 8 touchdowns. Last 2 years, not as efficient, but still solid receiver. 86 catches for 860 yards. and but no touchdowns in 22 with Pittsburgh. Last year had some injuries, 51 catches for 717 yards and 5 touchdowns. He's never really had great quarterback play since he got Ben Roethlisberger at the very end. Then he had Kenny Pickett and that whole saga of quarterbacks in Pittsburgh, and he had Bryce Young and Andy Dalton this year in Carolina. So he goes to play with Lamar Jackson. Lamar is obviously a more of a running quarterback, obviously, but definitely by far the best quarterback he's ever played with. Ravens definitely needed another receiver. Zay Flowers is really good, but other than that, they're very thin at that position. The kid they took, I thought Tez Walker would be more involved as the 4th-round rookie. Hasn't really worked out that way. Rashad Bateman isn't all that great, so and they've kind of needed another receiver for a while now, and they get one in Deontay Johnson.
I'm sure the angle no one, absolutely nobody cares about outside of North Carolina. Panthers, what they get out of this? Not much.
Yeah, they got a 5th-round draft pick, and they packaged him with a 6th as well. So it was Johnson a 6th for a 5th-round pick.
A 5th-round pick. I mean, take what you can get, I guess.
Yeah,
but
that's not
I mean, to be fair, you probably weren't getting much more for Deontay Johnson.
Yeah, I don't know if his contract is. I believe his contract is coming up. He's not a 1. He's a solid second-third receiver, so you were going to get a whole lot. Yeah, I didn't think they get more than probably a 4th. I would have tried to push maybe for a 3rd or a 4th, but at the same time,
I think they could have tried to bargain for a little bit more for him because I mean, that team is such a dumpster fire right now, and somehow they might not even be the worst team in the league.
Yeah, it's a lot of bad teams right now.
If that's possible. But I don't know. I mean, good pickup for the Ravens. Carolina, they need to blow it up. Everyone needs to be fired next season. End of this season, next season.
Yeah, I mean, look, that team is obviously just trying to acquire as many picks as they can. They screwed themselves with the Bryce Young trade, giving up all those picks and DJ Moore as well in that trade. So obviously you would have had the first pick last year, and then you didn't. So you ended up with the trading up one spot to the last pick of the first round to take Xavier Legette, who's had like 2 good games this year. A lot of it's on the quarterback play, but I'm not super high on him anyway. So they're trying to.
I mean, to be fair to them, Bryce Young did show some potential coming out of college, but the way they used him coming out of college was absolutely ridiculous. You do not throw unless you've got like a Tua Tagovailoa. I don't even think with Caleb Williams they should have thrown him out of college.
I agree.
But I think the Bears screwed themselves over there too. But you don't throw him into the starting QB position right away. You let him develop under someone who's got a little more experience behind him. Now, of course, Chicago traded away the QB that Caleb could have done that under.
Exactly.
Why? Panthers. Did they even have anybody?
They had Andy Dalton for counting him.
I guess.
If you count Andy Dalton, I guess he was on the team, but he was there.
Andy Dalton, I guess. I don't know. He was good for 1 game this season, and then he kind of died. But at least he's been in the league for a while. He could have. I don't know. That whole organization, like they've. A lot of this mess is self-created. Not necessarily all. It didn't necessarily all have to be that way. Some of the decisions they made weren't necessarily bad ones, like picking up Young. I don't think in principle, again, as I said, that was the wrong move, but they bungled how they developed him afterwards. And I mean, he's young. Still could turn it around. But again, you've got to, like the Packers did with Jordan Love when they drafted him, which again I thought was a mistake. If they were also going to sign Rodgers, they let him develop under Rodgers for a few years, and by all accounts, it's been pretty successful.
Yeah, he's turned out to be at least a good quarterback, and he's still very young.
Our backup quarterback, Malik Willis, is currently better than Jordan Love, even when he's healthy. How that works, I have no clue.
Yeah, he's played well in the league level. He's gotten the time. He's been surprised.
But, yeah.
But yeah, Carolina's in a really tough situation. But Deontay Johnson is now a Baltimore Raven. And the last thing I'll mention, actually going to basketball before we talk some World Series stuff, is Scotty Barnes, Raptors young star, or to at least me, a future star. He's going to miss the next 3 weeks with an orbital fracture. So he's going to miss some time for the Toronto Raptors.
As if we needed any more roadblocks to our team winning 20 games.
I think if they're healthy, I think they could possibly sneak into the play-in. I mean, it's something for.
Yeah, I think that's the ceiling.
That's probably the ceiling, but I do think they can get to that. I like a lot of the guys on their team. You know, I saw Manuel Quickly and RJ Barrett obviously up close. Quickly's a really good player. RJ was a little more consistent last year after the trade. I like Barnes a lot. So they have some solid pieces over there. You know, Bogins is a young player, I think. With playing time, could get a lot better. So they have some pieces there.
They do, but we lost 138-133 last night to Charlotte. That was I did catch some of the first half in that one. First of all, what is this? The All-Star game? Second of all, I mean, we've got the shooting. Our defense is just non-existent for these first 4 games.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it's 4 games now. And then the injury now to Barnes. It's gonna be a rough season. I think there's rumors floating around that they're gonna get rid of Masai.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, rumors. Nothing credible. Just people saying things, but I wouldn't be surprised, especially with the Rogers. I mean, you're probably not super in tune with Canadian media companies and their ownership structures, structures of teams up here. But Rogers just bought out Bell's stake, Bell being the other major telecom company in our country that owns Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment. Rogers just bought out their stake, and something maybe you can talk on a little bit. If how Rogers is running the Blue Jays right now is any indication of how they're going to run the Raptors, and by all measures it is, they're an extremely stingy company.
Yes, I've picked up on that over the years. Yeah,
they're an extremely stingy company. They have absolutely no business being in the business of sports. We're in for a rough ride or a rough rebuild, and I mean they already told Masai he wasn't worth the money once.
Right.
They didn't have a majority at MLSE at the time. It was still controlled by, I think, Tannenbaum. And he paid up. Now that is not the case. So could they potentially scapegoat Masai with this poor season and force him out? Which I'm sure there'd just be a ton of teams that'd be willing to snap him up. He's a great GM. I think so. And of course we got Redikovich is the coach. No one in basketball media can say the man's name right. It's not Redikovic. It's not. I know too many Serbian people to get this wrong. Sometimes even the Raptors, or they just call him Darko because they're lazy and they don't want to learn how to say his last name. And I know I've totally deviated from the topic here. It's Darko Redikovich. That's how you say it, people. Figure it out, learn it, and remember it. I've never heard basketball media struggle with a name more than his. And there are many other players and managers in the game who have way harder names to say than his. People are just lazy. But yeah, I mean, that injury, it's gonna hurt us big time. The James dynasty is coming to town Friday night. We'll see how that goes. I'm sure without Barnes, we are going to get steamrolled.
The Lakers don't really have everything together themselves. They're not really. They get a lot of headlines. They're not exactly a great basketball team.
They don't, but I don't know. Maybe if they're playing the Raptors, it'll be one of those games where they're going to show off Bronny to the world. Friday night, it'll probably be on ESPN down there. I mean, every second Lakers game is.
Exactly.
And if it's on Friday, it's basically wraps. We know it's on.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, we've only got one win, I believe, so far. And I think our ceiling, 9th or 10th, get into the play-in, lose the first game, be done. Where's our floor? 14th in the East, maybe? 14th in the East? Probably. Who would finish behind us? Probably
Brooklyn, Detroit, something like that.
I think Detroit has a decent shot of actually making the play-in this year.
Really?
Controversial opinion.
They should be a tiny bit better at least. I mean, you couldn't really get any worse.
Brooklyn, yeah. I'm thinking absolute worst case scenario, Brooklyn 15th, Toronto 14th, and I mean Detroit probably 13th, let's be honest, but I think they have potential. Anyway.
But yeah, but yeah, that's very likely. That bottom half of the East is very bad. But World Series, Dodgers win last night, 7-6 in a crazy game. They win 5 games. Their first World Series since 2020. To me, their first real ring, because that was a 60-game season. I don't put a lot of stock into that ring. Since 1989, that's their 8th World Series championship for the Dodgers. Congratulations to them. Blake Tryon, 2 1/3 innings in relief. Their closer went 2 1/3 innings. They went to a starter, Walker Buehler, for the save. Their Yankees jumped out 5-0 and knocked Jack Flaherty out of the game in the 2nd inning. But the 5th inning, Yankees just unraveled. Aaron Judge drops a line drive right at him. Then with next at bat, well, a couple or 1 or 2 at bats later, ground ball to short, first, second, nobody out. Volpe throws to third, throws it into the ground. A horrible throw. It was like 15 feet away. Error on him. That loads the base with nobody out. Cole gets the next 2, but then Lou dribbler off the first base line. And Garrett Cole forgets to cover first base. And that ends up leading to a run. And then, things just unraveled from there. Dodgers end up tying the game in that inning. Yankees went up 6-5. I think in the 6th. But Dodgers get 2 back in the 8th. Tommy Kahnle gets into some trouble. Loads of base. They went to the closer, Luke Weaver, who then gives up 2 runs. Gives up 2 sacrifice flies. Dodgers win 7-6. Oh boy, Yankees. That was a lot of fun to watch for me. I'm sure it was a lot of fun for pretty much every non-Yankee fan to see them lose in the World Series so miserably. So many mistakes from the Yankees.
It was great.
it was wonderful. It was wonderful. Boone going to Nestor Cortez against Ohtani, Betts, and Freeman in the 10th inning, up a run in Game 1. He hadn't pitched in 5 weeks. You put him up against Ohtani. He got out, but then he walks Mookie Betts to get to Freddie Freeman, who hits .420 with the bases loaded against left-handers in his career. And, of course, he hits a walk-off grand slam. Freddie Freeman was World Series MVP out of an incredible series. OPS over 1,200, had 12 RBI, which tied a record for most in the World Series by any player. He had 3 or 4 home runs. I think he had maybe, I forget if he had 3 or 4. But he also had a big hit in that 5th inning. He had a 2-run single, which got to 5-3, and then Teoscar Hernandez 2-run double made it 5-5. And just, also, like, at one point, they kept walking Otani, even though, like, he had a dislocated shoulder. That's part of the reason why he struggled. He also just didn't have a good series overall. Just, a lot of mistakes, those three just horrible errors that you make. Just, those are, like, Little League plays.
Yeah.
Can of cornflower right at the center fielder. Judge takes his eye off the ball. First and second, nobody out. Volpe just make a simple throw to third base, and he spikes it. Cole not covering first base, just terrible, terrible stuff. And now Aaron Boone's coming back. I mean, he got him to the World Series, but they also Dodgers had a much difficult path, and that definitely helped them be a lot more battle tested. You got the San Diego Padres, who I thought were going to beat the Dodgers in that series, and Dodgers got past them. They played.
A lot of people did.
Yeah, and the Mets, who obviously were red hot coming in,
they never stood a chance against that Dodgers.
Yeah, they Mets just didn't have the pitching, but that was not an easy series for them. And then the Yankees got the Kansas City Royals, who barely made the playoffs, or very inexperienced. They got the Cleveland Guardians, who have a even thinner rotation than the Dodgers did. And the Dodgers rotation was somewhat thin and not great offensively. They just had an extremely good bullpen. Just had a couple of big hitters at the start of their lineup. And then you ran into the Dodgers, who have a murderer's row lineup and a bullpen that's as good and as deep as you can get. And their starting pitching was more than enough, because Flaherty, besides Game 5, was very good. And then you had Yamamoto pitch well, Walker Buehler pitch well, and that bullpen is just absolutely great. So, Dodgers won the World Series. What's up?
Game 5, quickly. I won't go. I'll try not to go on a completely unrelated rant this time. I make no promises, however. Game 5, I could have watched the beginning of it, but then I looked. It was the second inning. It was 5-0. I'm like, no. I was busy for most of the game, unfortunately, so I missed all the exciting parts. I turned it on in the bottom of the 8th. So I got to see the Yankees lose, which was great, but I missed all the excitement. I saw the Dodgers go ahead run
all right.
in the top of the 8th. I got the end of the top of the 8th. I got it on.
Okay.
The only game that really wasn't exciting in that series, of course, was the one that I watched in full. Game 4.
Yeah, Yankees will love the 4.
Yeah, game 4.
Yeah.
The only game that I watched pretty much in full. I turned it on. I'm like, I don't know. I have a hard time sitting through a 9-inning baseball game, but I think I turned it on in the 3rd, and yeah, it was awful. So, great series. Yankees lost. I bet a lot of people would have liked to see it go 7 games.
Yeah.
I think if it had gone 7 games, the Yankees, if they had won Game 5, everything would have been on the table. Now, of course, no team has ever come back from a 3-0 deficit in the World Series.
Yeah, no team has even forced a Game 6 after going down 3-0.
3, not even a Game 6?
I believe no one's even forced Game 6.
Wow. Of course, there's other notable examples in sports where it's happened. Toronto and Detroit back in the original 6 days. But the Yankees just looked out of form. Garrett Cole was hot and cold all playoffs.
Yeah.
The Yankees bats were not what they were during the regular season. For a lot of it, the Guardians looked like they may be able to knock them in the championship series. Of course, ultimately didn't happen. And it was night and day for the most of the World Series. The Dodgers were the better team. They had better defense. The Yankees, I don't know what on earth they're fielding.
Not good.
There was so many stupid errors that just, like, inconceivably bad.
Yeah. That's just, it was hard. It wasn't even like, tough plays or like
No.
maybe it was like it wasn't like all right a throwing error from across the field. It was like little league stuff, like dropping a can't cord fly ball. You spike a 15-foot throw to third base. You don't cover first base. Like, this is stuff you see.
First.
Like this is stuff you see in the little league. You don't even see this in like high school baseball. And this is the freaking World Series, down 3-1. Yeah, at home. So yeah, I don't know how you could possibly do that. But Dodgers winning 5 games over the New York Yankees.
Yeah, I don't have too many other thoughts on the World Series.
Hey, me either. Let's talk some college football. Let's do game picks for this week. It is week 10 in college football. We have a game tomorrow night, Friday night, is Boise State, who's ranked 15th against San Diego State. I'm going to take Boise State. And by the way, RedBox, feel free to jump in on the game picks as well. But Boise State, Ashton Genty is literally running wild, over 1,300 yards and 18 touchdowns this year. Give me the Broncos in that one.
Yeah, I've been liking these Friday night ranked matchups.
Absolutely.
They've been. I mean, of course, they make the schedule mostly beforehand. I believe, but these like Friday night lights, number 15, 16, and below matchups against other good teams that are just might be able to crack the top 25. It's been a fun little series of those games.
Yeah.
Usually they're on like CBS Sports Network or something, which not a problem for me to find. Most other people, it's probably a bit more of a hassle, but this should be a fun one. I think this one will be close. I've got Boise State winning this one.
I do as well. Into the Saturday slate, what could be the game of the week and what probably will be, number 4 Ohio State against number 3 Penn State. I'm going to take the Buckeyes. I'm not a Buckeyes fan by any means. I don't trust Ryan Day of my life. But Penn State, they're playing really well, but I just think Ohio State's going to be a little bit too much. I could see Ohio State losing. Whenever they seem to play top teams, they seem to have some trouble. But they've kind of owned Penn State for a while, so give me the Buckeyes.
Yeah, I mean, this is a game of the week, and an otherwise not so great week actually for college football.
Yeah.
Why this is at 12 p.m.
Yeah, this should have been a primetime game.
I mean, that they do not decide well in advance.
No.
That they basically decide week to week.
Yeah.
So that's interesting to me. Why this is a 12 o'clock game, I have no clue. I'm gonna take Penn State.
Okay. I like it.
I don't trust Ohio State.
Oh, maybe trust me, I don't either.
Season. Yeah, they're the number 4 team in the country. Yada yada. I think Penn State has looked better overall, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Give me Penn State in this one.
All right, next game, Duke against number 5 Miami. I'm gonna take Miami. They've played very well this year. They've had quite a few scares. When they start playing some really big teams as the college football playoff gets closer. Not sure how much I trust them, but they're 8-0. Cam Ward's ball went over 2,700 yards, 24 touchdowns, 5 picks. Give me the Miami Hurricanes.
Yeah, this one's who was it they were playing last week? Oklahoma, I think.
I forget, but that was a very high-scoring game.
It was no, it wasn't Oklahoma then. That was a crazy one last week.
Yeah.
I did watch some of it. I don't have it offhand who it was. Number 5 Miami.
Yeah. They played. Oh wait, no. Last week they played Florida State. The week before was the crazy game, and they played Louisville.
Yeah, Louisville. That's the game I was sitting in a truck in the middle of nowhere listening to. Not an exaggeration. I'm not even remotely exaggerating.
Wow.
I was sitting in a truck in the middle of the woods listening to that game. I don't know why they're number 5 in the country. I mean, they're good, but they're not that good. They win this one because Duke is Duke.
Yeah. But yeah, number 19 Ole Miss against Arkansas. Give me Ole Miss. Ole Miss, one of those teams that's just trying to see if they can sneak into the very end of the college football playoff. Probably won't happen. They're at 19 for now. They've already lost twice. But Jackson Dart overall has played pretty well. So give me the Rebels.
Yeah, he has. and it was Ole Miss and Oklahoma last weekend.
Yeah, that's right.
I did watch most of that game. Ole Miss has looked, for a 2-loss team, they're probably one of the better ones.
Yeah.
I would say, which is why they're number 19 in the country, I suppose. But give me Ole Miss. Of course, with them playing, you never know. This should be an easy win. It probably won't be. It should be, though.
Yeah, that's a very accurate way to put it. Next game is Air Force against number 21 Army. So this should be a fun game. I think Army wins pretty much no problem. Really cool to see them. Almost cracked from a top 20, but Air Force as a football program isn't super developed. So give me the Army.
Navy, I believe, briefly in the top 20.
Yeah, it was the first time both teams were ranked at the same time since World War II.
That's ridiculous.
But give me Army.
No, this is not even close.
Yeah.
You know who I'm going with for this one.
The line's minus 22 for a reason.
Yeah.
All right, Minnesota and number 24 Illinois. I'm gonna take Illinois. Minnesota is favored. They're not a horrible team. They're a competitive team. Illinois played pretty well. You know, they haven't been able to get past the big guns. But what's gonna be considered a small upset, I guess. I'll take it. I'll take the Fighting Illinois.
Yeah, and the Gophers just haven't been the same the past few years.
No.
Of course, what was it? 5-6 years ago, they were quite good.
Yeah.
Gophers just hasn't been the same. Ever since the Vikings moved out of their stadium, really. Coincidence, probably. But yeah, give me Illinois. This one should be Minnesota. They've kept them close this season.
Yeah.
But and they will again, I think, this week. I don't think this is gonna be a runaway win. I don't know if it'll be worth watching either, though.
Number 1, Oregon against Michigan. I'm going to take Oregon. They're firing on all cylinders right now. Early on, they were winning still, but the games were close against teams they probably should have been blowing out. I was a little worried, but they've really played really well. Obviously, big win against Ohio State. They're the number 1 team in the country for a reason. I like Dylan Gabriel. That offense is incredibly talented. Michigan obviously isn't the same team they were last year. Give me the Ducks.
Yeah, Oregon's been on the up.
Yes,
for
sure.
Years. They've been slowly climbing the ranks of college football. Michigan, I mean, that's a whole show.
They've lost so much.
Talkin Sports with Jake episode, Michigan. we could talk.
We definitely could. Yeah,
this is not. They barely beat Michigan State last weekend.
Yeah.
And Michigan State's not any better.
Yeah, they suck. They're terrible.
It was a 1-score game. Patrick was very mad they didn't show.
I'm sure Pat Rush was livid.
Hilarious. Like, love you, man, but Michigan State's bad.
They're not good.
And apparently Michigan is too. Yeah, give me Oregon. This is even at the big house. This is not even close.
All right, Florida against number 2 Georgia. Georgia should win no problem. Florida is not great. They have been not the same program in years. Georgia, besides the one loss in that quiz against Alabama, they've the only game they've lost. They are still a really good team. Give me the Bulldogs.
Bring back Urban Meyer.
Yeah. Obviously, Georgia takes that one. Texas Tech against number 11, Iowa State. Give me Iowa State. Texas Tech isn't great. Iowa State, they've been a little better than I thought. Matt Campbell's a really good coach. Give me the Cyclones.
Yeah. Absolutely, give me the Cyclones. Texas Tech hasn't been bad this season.
Yeah.
They could potentially be a headache, but I don't know if they're going to. If they'll be able to hold it down the line, and it's at Iowa State too, I believe.
Yeah.
So.
All right, this next game is actually going to be on Peacock, which I actually didn't even know. Number 12, Indiana against Michigan State. I think they did this on purpose. Indiana has had a really good season. I'm gonna take the Hoosiers. We just talked about Michigan State is not very good. Indiana should win.
Yeah, on the Peacock thing for a minute, I swear, I know I get going on these things, but they did it with I can't remember what game it was, but it was actually a fairly decent week 1 game they played on Peacock. Or week 1 or 2. It was early in the season.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think I honestly don't think that these Peacock games, they put some good ones on there.
Most of the games they put on there are pretty good overall.
They've probably pissed a bunch of people off doing it. That's why you have IPTV, folks. But Indiana wins this easily. Michigan State is not even.
No, they're brutal.
Not even in the conversation for this one. This one, the Peacock can have this one.
Number 17, Kansas State. They're playing Houston. Give me Kansas State. Houston's not very good. Kansas State easily. Next game, number 10, Texas A&M. They're in the top 10 now against South Carolina. Give me the Aggies. I get the one's at 2.5. I see why this could be a closer game. South Carolina's not bad by any means. You know, they put a lot of top teams close, but I think Texas A&M is playing really well right now. I like what I see out of them. I think they have a chance to sneak into the college football playoff. Give me the Aggies.
Yeah, easy. Again, line's 2.5. Who knows? With South Carolina, they have had an up and down season, but give me A&M.
Louisville against number 11, Clemson. I'm going to take Clemson. I could see this not being a blowout at least, but Clemson's been playing well. Give them the Tigers.
If the Louisville game from 2 weeks ago is anything to go by, I think this is actually going to be a really fun matchup.
It should be. That should be a good game.
I'm not gonna go crazy and take Louisville for the upset. But I expect I'll have this one on with 2 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Give me Clemson.
Kentucky against number 7, Tennessee. Give me Tennessee. Not sold on the Volunteers long term, but there is a better football team than Kentucky. Kentucky's a team, you know, because how gritty they are, they can play teams close. They played Georgia very close very early in the year. They tend to do that. They're a smash mouth team. They just don't have the offensive firepower to pull it out in the end. So I could see them keeping us slightly close, but Tennessee should still get the win.
Yeah, I'm not sold on the Vols either. I think they're going to be a bubble team when it comes to
probably. Very, very likely.
I think they probably still sneak in there, and of course, who knows with whatever nonsense the selection committee could pull like they did last season. But yeah, give me Tennessee for this one. This is not going to be the game where we find out what Tennessee's truly made of.
For sure. And then the last game is number 18 Pitt against number 20 SMU. I'm going to take SMU in this one. This is going to be a really close game. Both teams are obviously very close in the ranking. You got 2 ACC teams. I think SMU, who I like the way they're playing, though Pittsburgh has obviously had a good year as well.
This one, is this an ESPN game?
This is on the ACC network. I'm going to take the Mustangs in this one.
This would be a fun national game.
It would.
Of course, these programs don't have the name recognition that a lot of the other ones do. SMU maybe, but Pitt does not. Yeah, this is a fun game. We are going to disagree on this. So I think this is the only game so far that we disagree on.
Penn State, Ohio State. So just those two.
Pittsburgh in the top 25 was interesting to me, but I like what I saw from them last week, and I think we get a barn burner here. This one could be very high scoring. Potentially. Give me Pitt. All
right. And we're going to move on to NFL game picks. Then we'll call this a day. Thursday Night Football.
More on to the football that I know lots about.
Same here. Thursday Night Football tonight is Texans and the Jets. Give me Houston. I don't care if the Texans have receiver injuries. The Jets are just brutal. They're a mess. I ranted about that the other day. You all know how I feel about my Jets. Houston Texans should win, no problem.
They've lost, their last 5 of the Jets?
Yeah.
You know what? Houston has underperformed this season. I know that's probably a controversial take, but
they've looked a little bit off at times.
That game against they probably should have beat the Packers.
Hmm.
As much as I hate to say it, they should have won that game. They didn't. The Jets. I mean, if they lose to the Jets,
that's a sound the alarm game.
They lose to the Jets. I'm gonna skip class and come on here tomorrow and rant about it.
All right.
Probably not.
Yeah. Next game is Cowboys and the Falcons. I'm gonna take the Falcons. I don't have any confidence in Dallas. They can't stop anybody. They can't really run the ball. They're not very good this year. Give me the Falcons. They're playing well.
The only good thing about the Falcons is Kirk Cousins has looked slightly better this year than he did last year in Minnesota.
Yeah.
They've had a rough go of it this season. Now, I don't think people expected otherwise of them, but they started hot, and people were starting to. It's kind of similar to the Saints.
Yeah. I mean, they're at 5-3. They'll probably win that division with Tampa's injuries, but they're not going to go anywhere in the playoffs. I wouldn't think.
Give me the Falcons.
Yeah.
Just because the Cowboys are so bad.
Broncos at the Ravens. I'm going to take the Ravens. The Ravens, I think, are very fraudulent. Obviously, a tough loss to Cleveland last week. But Denver, who's also somehow at 5-3, which I cannot believe. They've also had a very easy schedule. Give me the Ravens on this one.
I agree, but I think people are sleeping on the Broncos just a little bit.
Donut's been playing well.
They have surprised a lot of people this season. Of course, we'll get to see the Ravens' new pickup this week in action. Supposedly, you would think they'll bring him on against the Broncos, which I know that I basically just contradicted my prior statement. But I think the Broncos keep this close. I don't think the Ravens will, or for that matter, can run away with this one.
Right.
I think this game will surprise people.
You're going to take Denver.
No.
All right, you're taking Ravens, but you think it'll be close.
Ravens, but I think people are sleeping on Denver.
That's fair. Okay. Dolphins at the Bills. I'm going to take the Bills, but Dolphins are just a wreck. Tua's back, but obviously maybe he'll look a little bit better now that he's another game under his belt. But Bills, Josh Allen's played really well. I'm a little concerned with the defense, but Miami's obviously got a lot of talent there, but obviously I'm not able to put it all together. I mean, Tua at quarterback obviously isn't ideal, so give me the Bills.
Game here. This will probably be the game that gets shown everywhere on Sunday afternoon at 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
Give me the Bills. I mean, it's in Buffalo. Tua is back, but who knows what kind of state he's in.
Yeah.
There's too many questions around this Dolphins offense. The questions being around Tua, who is the Dolphins offense. Give me the Bills. I think they could potentially run away with this one. Either.
Yeah. All right, Saints at the Panthers, which is just a god-awful toilet bowl. I'm going to take I don't even know who I want to take in this one. I'll take the Saints. This is a game I could see Carolina maybe just, a random game at, all right, Carolina grabs. All right, who cares? The Saints are really bad.
Who was it they won they won when they put Dalton in the first game? Who was that against?
The Raiders.
Man, I picked the Saints this week in my pool. They have been such a disappointment because they had a great start to the
season. Lost 6 in a row.
They had a great start. Their first game or two was... Well, actually, their first game, I believe, was against the Panthers. Was it not?
Yeah. They beat the crap out of Carolina. They crushed them. They crushed Dallas, and then from there it's been downhill.
Yeah, they curb stomped the Panthers. They destroyed Dallas, and I got way too high on them, and, well, now I'm regretting that, obviously. The losing streak's got to end here.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
All right, next game is Raiders-Bengals. I'm going to take Cincinnati. They obviously have had a down year at 3-5. If you don't win this game, your season is as over as a season can get. But the Raiders are really bad. They really can't stop anybody, and they've got quarterback issues. Give them the Bengals.
Yeah, again, the Raiders lost to the Carolina Panthers. Funny we brought that up. Bengals win this.
Yeah.
This is not even close.
All right, Chargers at the Browns. This is an interesting game. Obviously, Jameis Winston bowled out last week. Big win over the Ravens, but I am going to take the Chargers. They've been a solid team. They're very good defensively. Herbert doesn't have a ton of weapons over there, so their offense at times can be a little bit limited, but I will take the Chargers in this game.
I went back and forth on this game for probably
this is going to be a nail-biter.
Minute this morning when I was making my picks. They finally got Watson out of there. He's not coming back.
No, he's torn Achilles. He's done.
Torn Achilles, and then once he gets done with that, he's probably going to be spending his days in courtrooms instead of on a football field. But I'm taking the Browns. This was a really tough game.
This is going to be a close game.
It's one of those mid games that might actually turn out to be really fun to watch.
Yeah.
In a roundabout way. Now this one's a 405, right?
This is a 1.
Oh, this is the last one, I believe.
We have 2 more 1s, and then we have the 405 and the 425s, and then after the primetime games.
Yeah, I mean, this one, they'll show a fair amount of it on the red zone, I assume. So yeah, give me the Browns though, close, but they'll win it.
All right, Commanders at the Giants. Give me the Commanders. The Giants, they just can't score. To me, they have the worst offense in the NFL. They just.
What happened last Monday?
Yeah, give me the Commanders.
I don't know what happened on Monday, but give me the Commanders. The Commanders have actually looked very good.
Yes, it's 6-2. They should win that division. Patriots Titans is another yike. It's another toilet bowl. Yikes. I'm gonna take yikes. I'll take Tennessee. If I had to guess, Drake May does not play in this game, and it'll be Brissett. That Tennessee defense is actually very good. Their offense is just holy hell bad. But Mason Rudolph probably going to start. The Patriots defense hasn't looked great lately, so I'll say Tennessee wins in a sloppy game that no one probably is going to watch.
Yeah. Give me the Titans. I pondered over this game for a few seconds.
It's a tough one. Both teams are so bad. It's like, all right, who's going to be the least bad, I guess?
The Patriots have shown flashes of brilliance this season.
Yeah.
They did not in London.
That was not pretty.
That I was sitting and watching that game while I was waiting to drive back to school. I don't know why I was sitting watching.
I woke up, my roommate, the Patriots fan, I woke up and he was like, dude, how are you down 2 scores to the freaking Jaguars?
Yeah, give me the Titans. This is one of those this is another one of those so bad it might end up actually being good games.
Yeah. But 405, Bears at the Cardinals. Oof, after last week, I don't know what to pick. I'm going to take Arizona. That Bears team, it's so poorly coached. Caleb Williams is struggling. We mentioned earlier they probably should have sat him at first. But the problem is they don't have anything to sit him for because they trade Justin Fields. Because they trade Justin Fields for I don't know why, but
I'm tired. I almost said the other Justin. I almost said Herbert. He has never played for the Bears.
Give me Arizona. Both teams are great.
I don't want to say this, but I think the Bears win this one.
Mm-hmm. It's very possible. They should on paper, honestly.
They should.
Of the Cardinals.
They have been getting progressively better as the season's gone on.
Mm-hmm.
They started out, they were an absolute dumpster fire.
I know.
Everyone said they would be. They're starting to grow into themselves a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I still think, I mean, they're in the strongest division in football
Yeah.
right now.
That's, yeah.
I don't think anyone can really argue that at this
No.
point. They're not going anywhere, but I think this is going to be a proven game for them.
Yeah.
If they can win this, there might be places to go. If they can, everything's back on the drawing board,
Yep.
and we're already preparing for next season. Give me the Bears.
Very good point there. Jaguars, Eagles. I'm going to take Philly. They've looked a little bit more like a contender the last couple of weeks. Still not sold on them, but Jacksonville's really bad. This is in Philly. Give me the Eagles.
This is what the Eagles do every year.
I know, every freaking year.
They either start out really good and then just die.
Like last year.
Or they start out absolutely terrible and then end up turning things around in the second half.
Right.
I think we're in for one of those seasons this season. Jalen Hurts has not been himself this season as much. The Jaguars, though, are just so bad. The Jaguars are just so incredibly terrible this season. They, along with New Orleans and Carolina, are currently competing for the worst team in the NFL.
Yikes, yeah.
I would say. Give me the Eagles, but who knows what the score will be.
Yeah. Lions at the Packers at Lambeau Field. I'm gonna take the Lions. Had a crazy game last time the two teams played. Lions went up big. Packers came all the way back, came up just short, but that Lions team is just rolling right now. So I think they sneak past the Packers.
They're the hottest team in the league, but their defense leaves a lot to be desired.
In the secondary, yeah. And now their top pass rush is out.
If the Packers can exploit that, I would assume Malik Willis will start.
Okay.
I would hope. There's no way in hell Love is healthy right now.
Yeah.
And as I said earlier, Willis has been the better of the two anyway, even when they've had both.
Yeah, it's crazy. He's actually played very well for them.
So, I mean, this is a homer pick, for sure.
Mm.
But this is
hey, they're 6-1, 6-2. Remember, can win the game, especially at home.
This is also an incredibly 50-50 game.
Yes.
So it's not a crazy stretch to say the Packers win at home at Lambeau.
Yeah.
And, I mean, of course I'll be watching this game Sunday afternoon. I won't miss it for anything. Give me the Packers. Scoring this one is going to be, I mean, potentially, I could actually see it being a very low-scoring game.
Really? Okay. I'm sure it's getting cold in Lambeau. I'm sure it's not going to be warm out there.
If they continue to let the penalty flags fly like fireworks on July 4th.
Well, that's a great reference.
Yeah. Like we did last week against the Jaguars. That should not have been a 3-point game by any sense.
Yeah.
Packers win, but it's going to be truly wild.
All right, Rams, Seahawks. I'm going to take the Rams. Seattle's been struggling. Have lost 4 of their last 5. Rams look a lot better since Puka Nacua came back. They're not great defensively. Both teams have talented offenses, but not so good defenses. I think in a high-scoring game, the Rams outslug the Seahawks.
I was sleeping on Seattle last season, at the start of this season. And I think I may have been wrong. I am going to take the Seahawks in this one.
It's another coin toss.
This is another coin toss game. I wouldn't go so far as to say it'd be game of the week if Packers-Lions wasn't on, but
yeah.
I mean, you could make the argument. Give me the Seahawks.
All right, Sunday Night Football is Colts against the Vikings. Joe Flacco is in there for Indianapolis. I think this will be an entertaining game. I'm going to take Minnesota to bounce back. I could see the Colts win this one. Flacco is the right guy at the quarterback position. But the Vikings defense has been struggling as well after a hot start. But I think the Vikings bounce back. That Colts defense isn't great, especially without DeForest Buckner.
I think this is going to be an absolutely disastrous game.
Really?
Really. As much as I hate to say it, the Vikings, they've been on a bit of a slump as of late,
right.
But it's not going to continue.
Mm-hmm.
And 39-year-old Joe Flacco, he's an upgrade from AR, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's going to debate that. But in Minnesota?
Yeah.
No, Minnesota runs away with this one.
Mm-hmm. All right, Monday Night Football to close out. Bucks, Chiefs. I don't want to take the Chiefs to get to 8-0, but the Bucks, they're down your 2-star receivers. Mike Evans is still out. Your Chris Godwin's out for the year. You know that defense has got some holes in it. So I think the Chiefs pick this one up, and the other Hopkins will play more, so that'll help as well.
Man, if the Bucks had been fully healthy,
I know. I would have taken them if they were healthy, no doubt. Honestly,
this would have been a fun game.
Yeah.
No doubt, it would have been a fun game. I'm not saying it can't be actually still, but no doubt this would have been an absolute barn burner.
Yeah.
I was down on the Bucks going into the season. This is another one I got very wrong.
They're 4-4.
Give me the Chiefs.
Yeah. All right. All I got for you guys today. RedBox, thank you for coming on. And until next time, so long. Have a great day.